If you think that I have an issue with Igbo people or that I have an issue with, you will understand where this is coming from. The political class thinks in a very distasteful way, and that's me being mild. This one I'm about to read, this guy talked about Ataturk a couple of months ago, wishing for a messiah. He would like to have a situation where we have strong men in politics. It's a weak person that constantly wishes for a strong man to come and save him. You have no plans to change anything. You have no vision for the people, but you're always constantly whipping up sentiments and asking for something strong, somebody strong to come and help and come and save you. And the only group that does this is the Southeast. Listen, if you're a young person from the Southeast, you are blessed. But if you can, please listen to other people from other places so that your life can be better. Because this is. Let me read it. So don't go be like just talk. By the way, the man's name is Kingsley Mogalu. Again, some of these guys may be very good accountants, good whatever they're doing professionally, but outside that profession, be like say, let's read. He says, I smile when people say we need strong institutions but not strong leaders. Truth, we need strong men and women, strong in the right manner, visionary big thinkers to build strong institutions. There's a reason why Rwanda works. I'll talk about that. And why Singapore became what it is. We'll speak about that. And why China rose. We'll talk about that as well. When South Africa became the Rainbow Nation, the 6 founding fathers of the American Republic, George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, Benjamin Franklin were men of strong character with large vision. The systems all these strong men built are all different depending on the local context, but the leadership was characterized by one ingredient, vision and the strength behind it. No. This man said the only thing that made them that was vision and strength behind it. I'll tell you this. If you are a Nigerian, especially young people, and you listen to motivational speakers, please be careful. Majority of motivational speakers, maybe they mean well for the most part, but they are very ignorant of the reality. If you think the only thing that makes Singapore and Rwanda and all those things is just vision, you don't get it. And this is the shame that you get for going to school and not thinking straight and just be shouting that you're something. You're a professor, but you don't even understand basic. Let me tell you something. This thing he's saying was exactly what Sironsi tried to do. And he has mentioned it several times. The idea of erasing ethnic identities. No tribes, we are all one. Then we have a visionary leader who is able to shape stuff and just create what we want. He has said this thing in different ways. So let's interrogate very quickly, because of time, some of the things that he has mentioned. He mentioned Rwanda. Let me tell you something that is true, and you can fact check me. At the root of all the countries he mentioned, to admit, Rwanda is what it is today because, somebody came here the other day, we had a session on Rwanda, and apparently there are certain things he couldn't say. It makes Singapore and Rwanda and all those things is just vision. You don't get it. And this is the shame that you get for going to school and not thinking straight and just be shouting that you're something. You're a professor, but you don't even understand basic. Let me tell you something. This thing he's saying was exactly what Sironsi tried to do. And he has mentioned it several times. The idea of erasing ethnic identities. No tribes, we are all one. Then we have a visionary leader who is able to shape stuff and just create what we want. He has said this thing in different ways. So let's interrogate very quickly, because of time, some of the things that he has mentioned. He mentioned Rwanda. Let me tell you something that is true, and you can fact check me. At the root of all the countries he mentioned is ethnic identity. At the root of the success of the countries that he mentioned is ethnic identity. Something that Igbos hate to admit. Rwanda is what it is today because, somebody came here the other day, we had a session on Rwanda, and apparently there are certain things he couldn't say. lived in and still has stuff in Rwanda, so he was very careful. But this is the basic one. The Hutus and the Tutsis had a war, proper genocide, terrible stuff that happened in Rwanda. But have you noticed that the person who is leading, who said there's no ethnicity in the country, he is not ashamed to own up to his own ethnicity, even if the people of his ethnic group are not in Rwanda? Study the whole thing about M23 and the connection with Congo and Rwanda, and the connection, the Tutsi connection. It's Tutsi, that's the connection essentially. Ethnicity runs deep in everything. When you go to Singapore is 75% Chinese. There are three main groups in Singapore. There's the Chinese, the Indians, and the Malays. Chinese are about 75%. I was watching an interview of the Konyu the other time. Of course, I like him. He's a strong man. He's a man of vision. But he said something about the Confucian philosophy with which they run the society. They may not be speaking Mandarin like you hear all over China, but they are Chinese. And he mentioned that when he met what's the name of this, the president before Xi Jinping, that he told him that they are the descendants of the peasants that moved from China to Singapore. It's an identity thing. Nigeria is not like that. All this comparing Nigeria with Singapore, comparing Nigeria with Rwanda, meanwhile the part of of the country that works, that is yours, you cannot think of building that kind of thing there. You always think of doing it in Nigeria. At the root of what you see in Singapore is an ethnic identity. Even China, as big as China is more than 90% Han Chinese. You look at the numbers as a billion, but there's an identity that they all share. The Han Chinese are the vast majority in terms of the ethnicity in China. So it's over a billion, there are many, but there is a worldview that they all share. Which worldview combines me and an Igbo person, or me and a TV person, or me and an Indoma person? We are different nations in one country. This is not Rwanda. This is not Singapore. And that's why we say, and I have said it several times, the best thing that Nigeria needs is ethno-linguistic states, where you can have Nigeria become like something like the EU, like a mini continent. There's so many nations within our space for people to just be enamored with the idea of a messiah, a benevolent dictator that will just destroy everything and build Nigeria. Meanwhile, what they're asking for in Nigeria, they have never done it where they come from. It makes no sense. When you say like we need strong men to build, listen, it would be great to have strong men, but we've tried it in Nigeria, and every time we have strong men, and we did not once, not twice, not three times, not four times. Tell me what the system that the strong men have built since 1960. I can tell you the system that a strong man built in my region in the 1950s that still stands to today. And one of the reasons for that is because there is cohesion, there's homogeneity as far as our ethnic identity is concerned, and we have the same worldview. We are Yoruba. The Chinese, for instance, have different sub-ethnic groups and all of those things, but at the root of everything is a common identity. They're able to plug into that, even in Singapore. People just sit down and shouting his vision that will kill everybody. It's not the same vision that made somebody come and say, we have to make Nigeria a unitary system. On the advice of Igbo leaders, because it was in the manifesto they wrote in 1944. Guys, I said that something I will not say. The least way I can say, I will say it. They have a plan, and that plan has always been based on unitary system. And that's why Zeke himself was for unitary system. Although he would go, one day he would tell you it's federal, then he'll go back to unitary, going back and forth. The first time they had absolute powers, what did they do? They created a unitary system in Nigeria. What did that do for us? What is it doing for us? Since 66, we are still in soup. This is 2025. And somebody has not learned anything from that. Just wakes up one morning and says, wait, let's go back to that thing that Tirasi did not do well. Let's try it again. We need strong men. Whatever makes you ask for strong men, dictators, shows you are from an underdeveloped culture. There's only one group in Nigeria today that's always shouting and clamoring for military. It's because you are not developed. The only way you can be led is by force. And everybody has gone through that, by the way. Everyone has gone through that. It's just that the time that they went through it, you haven't been through that. Nobody mentions the mistakes of the past, so you guys will just wake up and repeat it all over again and ask for. He says I smile when people say we need strong things. This is somebody that worked in the CBN. This was the deputy governor of Central Bank of Nigeria saying that what we need are strong men, not strong institutions. Let me tell you something. Is it good to have strong men? Yes. Can strong men build the right institutions? They can if they want to. Because we've had many strong men who did not build any good institution for Nigeria. Awolowo was a strong man. But the reason, if Awolowo had done what he did in Western Nigeria and Nigeria, it would not have succeeded. There's no way now. Nigeria has a way of unraveling. They will see what's happening right now. We're talking about the tax system. Somebody comes up and the next thing you are hearing is that the priority? It's not because what he's saying, it's not because what Tinubu is doing is a problem. It's just because Ilara and June won't say Villager is Ilara or Tomboro. Ilara yewa ambe. Like if it's not my own, it cannot be good. These are people talking about vision. In your region, what is the vision? What is the plan for the Southeast? And I'm mentioning Southeast now, Igbo now, because Moghalu does this every other market day. He will come up with one idea of, and you know the funny thing, he's on Twitter. Young people are on Twitter. They are reading this nonsense. He does it every time. What do you think is going to happen to young people who read this nonsense? They start longing for that time where you can have one military get out, just come and do. We have Traore. As though we've not been under military regime. See, it will make sense if we never grew up under military regime. We grew up, we saw it. Abacha was a strong man. Babangida was a strong man. Buhari was a strong man. Obasanjo was a strong man. Look at the other one. Murtala was a strong man. Gowon was a strong man. Ironsi was a strong man. Now, put all those 7 together. I'm intentionally removing Absalom Abubakar because he didn't stay too long for the no, Idi Agbon was the second in command to somebody. Put all those 7 people together, right? Combine all the forces, right? All the achievements in the last 60 some years, right? Combine all the achievements, compare it with the achievements of Singapore, of Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore. The reason you can't have the same thing is because we are not the same people. It's simple. So what works is that you create a structure where that strong man you're looking for, have it in your region. Since you cannot think on your own, you cannot create any systems for yourself, have that strong man in your region, because at least now you have your own people and you can become Lee Kuan Yew and become Singapore and grow Dubai. The crazy part about the Southeast is that they never think about growing that Dubai in the region. They're always thinking about Nigeria. You know why? Because you have to take what belongs to others in order to make you feel good, to build what you're thinking you want to build, which you have never built in history. It's a shame. I sound like this because young people read these things. Young people read these things. And they don't understand that at the very core of our problem is the structure. We are not the same people. I come from a culture where we've evolved to the point where, I mean, we're not a perfect culture, of course. No culture is perfect. But we've gone to a point where our identity is rooted in ethnicity, not in religion. You have another group of people who have the same ethnic identity. Interestingly, contrary to what you have in Yoruba land, Igbos have largely the same religion. But in that group, one person that they are calling Messiah was able to use religion that they are supposed to all share together and use it to break them.